why are why are the main team?
Yeah, well, they're the main team, exactly. But hopefully we see a different pace in game heading, hopefully equal showing this time around for both sides heading into game number 3. But it just goes to show that still not quite clear who's going to come off as our second finalist with our scoreboard back to equal 1-1. So we're kind of looking at a mini best of 3 in which case. Since
Many best of
yeah,
three.
a little bit of a reset right there. But okay, so here's the thing. I think game 1, a little bit of a wake-up process for the main team. You know, where they were a little bit slow, definitely. But I think since they've kind of warmed up now in game 1, showing that, okay, guys, you need to wake up, need to get back, and like I mentioned, just very definitive with how they played out. And I'm wondering if they'll be following the same type of composition heading into game 3, because definitely just shutting down the wildcard team early on was a great way to go in game 2 when they were able to execute quite efficiently. So we'll just have to see once we head on to that game 3. Really looking forward to it.
Really, I agree on that one. And probably in my thoughts on that, then that statement, like, it's probably seeing how the wildcard team move. They analyze it very well. The rotation, the peeling, and the picks. Probably having it like compressed, like it's a zip file or
Right.
something, and they used it against the wild card.
Exactly. And man, I'm still unsure of how this series is going to be going, Y2K, because it's still looking like anybody's game. It really comes down to who executes onto their win condition all the more better. But I'm wondering if we'll be seeing a bit of a shake-up in how the draft will go in the next game. So we're just still waiting to load up into just that. By the way, for those of you that are just tuned in, you are watching the 7th and final day of the Arena of Valor World Cup 2018 Boot Camp. Of course, we're looking at match number 2 between Thailand Wildcard and the Thailand main team. Who will become our second finalist? Of course, we'll be determining it as we head on to our 3rd game of the day.
Oh, this might be a different band
For match
right
two.
now. We have Wonder Woman and Malak.
So far, really interesting here. So, different change of pace by taking out the Wonder Woman rather here. So, that being said, leaves a few other options here. So, Superman, Teamy, and the Flash could be priority bans here in which case. So Superman, of course, gonna be one of them. Let's go ahead and see what else could potentially be banned. So here we go. The Flash is still open. Teamy's still open. Aram's still open. So just a lot of options in which case. Of course, it all comes down to what teams would rather live without.
Himself.
Yeah.
Even the one I mean, I don't know. I just thought about that word like little second ago. But still, the usual ban on
Aram.
Aram still.
So okay, so with this timer, because Malak was banned out, so Seniel, okay, there you go. So gonna
Open.
be trade for trade, Malak, Seniel.
It's still open for Lubu, open for Flash, open for Teamy, open for a lot, like Quicknack.
Yeah, a lot of options here.
A lot of options right now.
And this is the tricky part for the wildcard because they need to make the decision of who they'd want to prioritize first, because in exchange, this is deficiency, like I mentioned time and time again, this is deficiency that you're working with when you're on the blue side. You only have that one pick to secure who you really, really want most, because in exchange, whoever you would have ideally wanted would probably be taken by the red side in their first rotation of picks themselves, because they have 2 slots to work with who they want to lock in. It looks like the wildcard have chosen Wall by deciding that, okay, it's Teamy that we want to make sure that we secure for ourselves first off, and they'll just comfortably take it for themselves.
This is what we're talking about earlier. Open Teamy, like save someone using him.
Yep.
Or her. I don't know. What on the gender of Teamy?
Looks like, well, based on their voiceovers, they kind of sound like guys, but you'll never. We'll just have to research a little later on. Actually, look that up right now. But meanwhile, looking at what the main team is drafting for themselves. So no hesitation whatsoever. Alice, like you mentioned, Lubu was left open, so they're going to be taking it as well. So
Alice
pretty
and
much
Lubu.
standard priority from what we're seeing here from both sides.
It's probably one of the classic combo, Alice and Lubu. Having the sustain at the same time with the barrier and with the buff that Alice can provide. Oh, probably it's the same picks before, but I'm not sure how they will execute in this game right now.
Meanwhile, Liliana hover over right now. So again, just the same picks of priority that we're seeing here from both sides. Of course, wondering how they'll complement that pick. Maybe, probably want to go for... Well, I mean, since they're showing off a carry, probably another carry as well. Okay, so Lindis, there you go.
I'm still expecting for Talanos.
I don't know. Maybe I don't think Talanos will ever see the light of day in playoffs here.
Oh.
Sorry to disappoint.
Like, I really like Talanos in a sense that it's almost like Violet with the buff of the range of the attacks.
Right.
At the same time, she can really peel. But I don't think she's in meta right now.
Not really. Well, not really in priority.
Not really. In
Oh,
priority.
really?
A better.
Just because there's a lot more better options that they could go for, in which case. So, let's go ahead and see what's going on here. So, hover over the Zill. So, interesting pick. Okay, so Jukes into the Scud instead of... And, of course, Violet, not a bad way to go for the main team as well. So, definitely, from what we're seeing here, Lubu, Alice, and Scud could make for great sets for this Violet to just constantly hit from the backside. So I think with the number of days that have passed by, we pretty much determine what are the typical compositions that we'll most likely be seeing at the AWC next month. Just definitive, I mean, here's one thing like Violet with a number of setters for your side. So in exchange, though, now that you mentioned it, the Flash has actually been left open. Nobody really taking him so far. So Wildcard thinking if they want to take it for themselves.
But
probably not the best option here, though, since they already... Okay, so still thinking if they should go for it.
probably Flash, I think. Let's see. They still have the Ryoma right now. Oh, they went for 8
There you
max
go.
instead.
Max, I definitely would prefer over the Flash. If anything, the Flash would probably fit the main team's composition a bit more better, just because by going for this Max here, like I mentioned, they have that... Because Max has pretty good coverage whenever he needs to make his way through into a lane, try to respond to the rest of his teammates. So... in exchange, though, looks like, as I mentioned, main team could potentially take the Flash for themselves because they have a great, with the composition that they have, could actually make for great sets for the Flash to have a safer zoom in to dish out damage onto the wild card because of the hold that the Lubu, the Alice, and Scud could set up for them. But nonetheless, looks like we have our compositions locked in for our Game 3, Y2K.
This is pretty... I like the compositions, both of the teams. Both have potentials, both have kites, both have pokes, both have a bit to offer right now.
Yep.
And we are seeing right now fist bumps everywhere.
And man, looks like this is going to be it. Both game number 3 between Thailand Wildcard versus Thailand main team. Let's go ahead. And okay, so we've talked about the main team's composition a bit. Get the Alice, Scud, and Lubu to get a setup for you just so that Violet and Flash could deal the max damage that they can in those smaller skirmishes to even bigger team fights. Okay, so we'll talk about the Wildcards comp a little bit more later on once we head on to the Antares battlefield. Once again, this is Game 3 right now, which will determine who will become our second finalist for the day. One of our first finalists is already the Chinese Taipei, who will be joining them. Of course, that'll pretty much be determined right now in this second match. And of course, later on, we still have our battle for third in the finals. But here we go. We're heading into the game right now. Onto the Antares battlefield. Thailand Wildcard, Thailand main team. Let's head on to it.
Alright, so let's see how strategy right now, especially Flash, is being taken by Thailand. Probably, I mean, the main team, both of them are Thailand, pretty ironic, but how they will utilize it, especially with this team composition.
Yes, indeed. Looks like both sides mirroring an invade here. And just pretty much standard at this point. I mean, just trade for trade in camps. Wildcard, though, a bit more spread out with how they're going about the camps themselves. Actually managed to clear out most of it. In which case, gonna get an Eagle as well for extra measure just to get a good scout in on the Lindis.
Whoa. Probably denying or getting as much farming experience at the same time.
Ooh, meanwhile, looks like Kid gonna make his way. Still a bit of a convergence here coming in from the wild card here in the mid lane. Not that there's really much to go for. We are seeing the Flash as well as the AWC making their way towards the bot lane though. Ooh, tries to go for Romeo. But Romeo gonna be A-okay under the safety of his turret. Would be too risky for the main team to try to go for a dive this early on.
Probably they will dive if the Flash is inside the house, but no, they will not really dive on that one. Meanwhile, speaking of the Flash, oh no, need to be careful right now, but the dash out, completely safe for him.
Yes, oh man, looks like no casualties just yet, but I mean, both sides definitely trying to look for those early opportunities within the first few minutes of the game. 007 getting a nice stun there onto KSSA. KSSA will have to flicker away though.
Flicker out from KSSA. I think I want to see KSSA like he played the Joker in the first game. Probably they changed roles or something.
Yeah, playing a different pace here. Want to try to go for the sets here. Not to mention be the optimal team to keep your teammates running in the fights with the ultimate. But oh no.
Oh no, needs to be careful. And the first blood. KSSA being caught off guard.
Yeah, great timing there from the main team. Like I mentioned, they could just zoom through onto targets, getting those early pickoffs. But in the midst of that, though, looks like Wildcard has their own agenda here towards the top side. Going to continue to deny camps from the side of the main team, in which case Cherie gets a few hits here and there. Oh!
Cherie needs to be careful, and ooh! That would be an easy kill, even though sacrificing and the tower dive.
Yeah, nice flow of damage there coming in from the Wildcard to make sure that they get the kill onto Cherie, but good move here coming in from Thailand in response by being able to take down the Abyssal Dragon.
Probably a nice trade for me.
Yep.
Like having a team-wide gold advantage and experience advantage rather than having like a singular or double advantage. Here we go, the Whirlpool! And KSSA might be in trouble right now. But the sustain by KSSA, the ultimate has him pop up and he will go back to life.
Yep.
Meanwhile, right now, Drewwy and Moss will probably live for that. Oh, the jumping inside by TAOZ. TAOZ right now, there's a lot of happening to be honest, but 007 will be down for the count. And again, Moss, another kill.
Whoa!
Secured by the wild card.
Yes, 2-0 in favor of the wild card team right there. Could have actually gone for more, but luckily Remix with a speck of health was able to walk away and survive to tell the tale. But that was definitely a victory for the wild card, in which case, luckily for the main team though, isn't really much of significance in terms of the build-up in gold. Still very much within manageable distance, only at playing around 600 to 800 in which case. So not much harm done, but of course, ideally Thailand would want to look for a small trade-off themselves just so that doesn't tilt too much towards the wild card's favor.
Still Cherie dealing decent amount of damage, especially he have the sustain that he needs. But I think what really went well if I were the main team is meanwhile, hold that thought for a moment, Drewwy and the rest of the team is coming into Moss and they will get Moss and the Whirlpool to safety.
Yes, looks like Moss a little bit of an overextension there, not to mention he just got pincered into that brush by the wildcard team. It looks like they're going to award themselves with a very easy Abyssal Dragon.
Another. But this is probably the first Abyssal Dragon in the side of the wildcard team. Yeah, there's 1-1 already. One Abyssal Dragon for each of the teams right now. And still goal advantage in favor of the wildcard. But ooh!
Oh wow, Drewwy luckily able to make it out, not even needing to expend his flicker, in which case, not to mention, ult is up for him right now though, so should be fine in that lane. Teamy as well gonna be granting that support amidst the heavy numbers. Ooh, forced to use his ultimate though, after taking quite a bit of damage from MeMarkz and 007.
And the rotation right now by the main team wanted to get the top lane and wanted to get the top. No, they left the top lane. This will have the opportunity, or the Thailand main team will have the opportunity to push it.
Oh man, meanwhile still pretty much anybody's game. Main team looking for an opportunity here towards the top side. Take note of how many members they're committing in which case, but looks like Wildcard getting a whiff onto this. Gonna be sending off KSSA here towards the top side. Not making it easy, but oh, TAOZ.
Oh no, Lubu popped off his ultimate. He have already potential that he needs, but probably will get TAOZ. TAOZ will definitely go down courtesy of 007. Cherie is dishing damage right now. KSSA, he have no backup. What are you doing? You're inside a 3-man fight right now.
Yes, probably was hoping that Drewwy and Kit could respond in time, but no, that is not the case. Immediately gets picked off. A wasted flicker into the members of the main team, in which case Remix gonna try go for something himself, but okay, luckily he has a beefy scud, so we'll be able to walk his way out of there, but still very close call.
Yes, indeed. And 4-3. The main team is trying now to get back into the game.
Oh man, it's like just pretty much going back and forth, in which case still Wildcard that has the advantage so far though. They still have that roughly 1,500 up, but like I mentioned, this isn't really much of a significant gold difference, in which case, because main team could easily look for opportunities themselves, but we'll just have to see.
And I'll see a little bit later on. Again, this is still best of 5. Where we're having right now is a mini best of 3, like Arctic said. And still, this is the match of the homeland. Thailand main and Thailand wildcard. Again,
Yes.
semifinals. And who will be winning this bout will be heading to the finals. And who will be losing, that will be the battle for the 3rd place.
Yep, still, you know, a bit of a chance to end the boot camp on a high note in that battle for 3rd, whoever loses. But of course, still, you want to look ahead into what's the better opportunity by becoming champion if you can. But still, I think with both sides kind of awakened here, it's, like I mentioned, been a little bit of a ping pong, goes back and forth, these team skirmishes, in which case, actually. So we'll just have to see who.
Ooh,
Wow.
TAOZ dive, but he definitely don't want to be inside a whirlpool of Flash.
Yeah, a little bit impatient there, but still 2 members down.
007 has been picked off right now. Same goes at Cherie. Romeo will survive with the skin of his teeth right now.
Yeah, all's well ends well, I guess. And TAOZ, even though he went down, was able to at least make sure that 007 goes down with him. 1 for 2, going to the wildcard team.
Really interesting trade over there. And this will lead the wildcard to secure the Dark Slayer.
Yes, early take. Well, not really as early, but then again, with the main team actually the ones with the lesser numbers, so it's end of the fight, definitely gives Wildcard better control over taking that objective and succeeds uncontested, no doubt.
No doubt about that. And right now, I'm seeing still the Flash having potential in this in the team fight that they're having.
Yep.
One that I really noticed is the ultimate, I think the Whirlpool or something. Meanwhile, hold that thought for a moment. Remix is going down courtesy of Laos and the magical cat.
Oh my goodness, Thailand. Okay, so Abyssal Dragon take right here from the wildcard team. Still, I mean, it's the wildcard that's mostly been leading the fray. They're up in objectives, up in kills. But main team, you know, they've been playing they've been looking for opportunities, but what I think they're struggling with at this point is Violet and the Flash clearly aren't enough to match damage for damage in these team fights. And Cherie, oh no.
1v1 become 1v2. So his sustain is not enough for the burst damage that he's been dealing. Whirlpool will not get anyone.
Yep. And that's the frustrating part right here. Even though you know that the Below 7 and MeMarkz can pack quite the punch themselves, they haven't really been able to, do anything particularly significant in dwindling numbers from the wildcard team amidst these skirmishes. And as a result, MeMarkz actually going to go in there.
Oh no, needs to be careful though. MeMarkz, you're the Flash, but I don't know what you're doing inside. And Moss almost, and he will survive with the skin of his teeth once again, and they will take the top tower.
Yeah,
but
constant
not
pressure.
yet. It's not yet finished. MeMarkz once again just diving inside right now, and again they will live for the skin of their teeth.
Yes, looks like main team able to successfully fend off the offense here, but still, the crucial thing here is they need to keep those high grounds up and kicking, because that could ultimately just limit them once again, similar to the previous games that we've had earlier. So hopefully that won't be the case here. MeMarkz going to go straight and deals quite a bit of damage onto Drewwy in all fairness. But that's the thing. Like, it's mostly been these pokes coming in from MeMarkz, but amidst these pokes, it never really transitioned into actual pickoffs because of the lack of follow-up.
Like actual burst or something. There's
Yeah.
no such thing as that one. And not yet, maybe. Probably after in mid or late game already. After
Yeah.
like 15-minute mark or 13-minute mark. I'm not really particularly sure.
Tap mid.
Tap mid.
Ooh.
They're now fighting. They're now trying to get the position they wanted. They will get the Abyssal Dragon. And here we go. The fight is going on. KSSA is in the bit trouble right now. Ultimate has been popped up. Now the opportunity for the Wildcard and the Whirlpool with that flicker in. Not really doing decent amount of damage, but the poking again by MeMarkz with that burst damage. They will definitely have the kill right now. Currently, 2-for-1 trade, courtesy of the Wildcard.
Yes, not a bad way to go. And of course, wildcard once again, not really many options because Darkslayer and Abyssal Dragon are down for the count. So looks like they'll just have to transition into constantly pushing out the pressure in lanes, trying to get those waves pushing in. A good opportunity here towards the bot side since second tier is still up. That's definitely the much more feasible objective to go for, as opposed to the high grounds in top and mid would take a little bit more effort, probably complete numbers if you will.
Well, yeah, they really need the numbers in their favor, especially one of the things that may slack them the most. If Teamy used his or her ultimate, we didn't research that yet, if he's a boy or a girl. Meanwhile, probably a team fight is happening right now. The bot tower is being taken. The Flash ultimate is running now for his life.
Oh,
They will now escape and back off for now.
Yes, so far looking pretty good for the wildcard team, but let's see. Main team definitely been turtling out as much as they can, but because they've been turtling for the most part, it just allowed wildcard to farm up all the more than Thailand, because what the Thailand main team has pretty much been relying on so far is what camps they're lucky enough to take from their own side, plus whatever waves naturally push onto them, while the rest of the wildcard, I mean, you have Spirit Sentinel, Easy Take, Abyssal Dragon, just because main team doesn't go as far as the river. So again, it's just been a constant build-up here. Main team, sure, they can turtle, but for how long exactly? Because the gold lead definitely getting wider and wider.
Well, I agree that one. And another Abyssal Dragon is in the bag. So far, 5 Abyssals in the side of Team Wildcard.
Oh man, this is starting to spiral quite well. Take note, Darkslayer will be up in just 40 seconds as well. A lot of members committed to try to chase down TAOZ, but looks like, unfortunately, main team won't succeed in chasing him though. And it's actually wildcard that that just goes back to getting total command of the battlefield right now.
This might be a bad positioning right now, but hope they just scattered for now. Oh no, no, no. Needs to be careful right now. Cat dealing decent amount of damage right now. Cherie, what are you doing? You're just being bursted right now together with MeMarkz. MeMarkz jumping inside, being bursted, deleted. Flash, where are you going?
Yeah, unfortunately, the Flash tried to support his comrade, instead suffered as a casualty himself, and this is going to be all the more remix. Just very, very low, managing to dash his way out of there. But man, he's been lucky, able to survive with a slither of health as a tanky Scuds, but you know, luck isn't quite working for the team overall, in which case, because they lose out on high ground in this mid lane. Looks like in the top lane as well.
Again, wild card just wanting this game. And 2 turrets and the high ground has been destroyed. Probably they will go for a Dark Slayer. Yup, they will go for a Dark Slayer right now.
Oh man, that is a sweet objective for the wild cards taking. Fortunately, main team tried to make their way onto Drewwy, but a little bit too late for the party, in which case. So this could be definitive for wildcard. They can potentially push it into a 2-1 match point this time around if they could take full advantage of the Darkslayer buff on their side. 1:15 and ticking.
That is indeed correct. Just TAOZ is kind of slacking in this game, but what I'm seeing here is, well, especially we see the dive earlier.
Yep.
But how they will answer back, the main team, how they will answer back on this bout, especially, oh, there's happening right now on the bot lane. Zoom out for a moment. This will be a possible last fight if Wildcard do this correctly. TAOZ right now is going on the side. Look at the critical frames, but there is no such damage as being dealt right now.
Yes. Looks like the rest of the wild card trying to keep the rest of the main team zoned away, rather, just so that the rest of the wild card that's pushing in towards the spot side could get easier access to taking down that remaining high ground from the main team side.
Oh no, Flash with that Whirlpool. No one holds! And
Ooh.
Kit kiting again the Flash, and look at that Flash enters. Nothing happened, and see me using his ultimate and still dies.
Yes, waves are starting to push in once again. Thailand wildcard, can they take advantage of just that? Taking out MeMarkz as well as KSSA is down right now. 4v4 happening on the map, but looks like a bit of a struggle here for the wildcard. Not able to close out on that high ground turret. 007 takes a lot of damage though, forced to back away.
And they will probably get the last high ground tower, and this will cost a life, but TAOZ right now. And Kit having the resurrection anytime soon open, they will just back off for now.
Yes, man. Oh, man. It's going to be a tall order for the main team, in which case, and to mount a solid enough defense, because with all 3 high grounds gone, it's coming down to the wire wildcard. All that's separating them is that core for the takedown from the main team. And I don't know, man. It's just proven to be really tricky. And again, what I'm struggling with is the trade-off damage main team is able to exert amidst these team fights. It hasn't been working for him so far.
And this may be the call that they need. Probably they need first to show the lanes in order for them to avoid backdoor. Especially, we have, yeah, Romeo anytime can go inside and then deal damage on the base.
Abyssal Dragon take by the wildcard team. Of course, main team just waiting for that next siege from the wildcard. Of course, the question is if they can hold off this time around without any high grounds to keep the wildcard team at bay from finishing the game.
No, we are seeing now the barriers that the Alice is capable, but let's see that if that's enough for the main team to survive in the game currently.
Yes, looks like main team trying to fend off that wave from pushing in. This is pretty much limited to their base here. Functioning as a unit at this point could come to their advantage if they do work as a team. Try to find a target to lock down from the wild card. Oh man, this is really starting to become intense for the main team. I'm wondering how long can they last off the fight here, because from what we're seeing here, wildcard constantly getting a good push in on these waves across the lanes. Oh, Remix actually getting held down there. Will be able to dash away once again, but this could be a moment of opportunity for the wildcard to get something off of this. Try to at least get a pick off, in which case, just to make it easier to reach and take down that core. That's the only thing that they need to do. Try to look for targets to take off the main team just so that their numbers aren't in their favor.
And let's see right now, it's, yeah, the core is open. One fight can remove this all. Flash right now trying desperately to poke Drewwy. But no, that will be not enough yet. I think the burst damage is not really that fatal
Yep.
from MeMarkz.
That's the thing. I mean, I think that's the reason why the main team has been struggling through the most part in these fights. Damage from both 007 and MeMarkz, sure, they pack the damage, but there's not really a proper finisher amidst all that damage that they're able to deal. And that's what makes it tricky for them to deal with the wild card in team fights, because as soon as MeMarkz and 007 maxes out on their damage, then not even able to take off a member of the wild card, then that could be the main. That pretty much is the main team's undoing in these team fights so far. But
oh no, here we go. TAOZ right now is being cornered. Alright, ooh, look at that shield, and probably this may lead them. Oh, what? The flash ult just dancing inside, but they are not being intimidated right now. They are winning this fight. There we go, a quick ace in that.
Yep, and that's going to be the game right there. Fantastic timing ultimate from KSSA, and that'll be the game. Wild card forcing it to match point 2-1 against the main team from Thailand. GG, well played.
A lot of things happen. I didn't really saw what's going on. I just noticed that the wild card team is winning in that specific fight.
Oh man, and with that, we're currently at a point where, interesting enough, it's a wild card team that's dominating their main team. So, I don't know though. This is one of the teams that I feel could go all the way to a best of 5, but we'll just have to see. It really depends on the performance that will follow in Game 4. But
really interesting.
yeah,
Like really, like the main team have the punch
Right.
that they need. Like you said, they lack the finisher. But taking advantage of that one, especially they don't have burst damage. Wildcard took the advantage. They have all the kits that they need. They have tankiness, they have survivability, they have mobility, they have sustain at the same time, and they have the punch that they need.
And what I wasn't a fan of is that, like I mentioned, they had the set potential, they have the pick-off potential in the earlier phases through the Lubu, Alice, as well as a Scud, but they didn't really utilize that, even in the bigger team fights wherein they could have gone for proper sets. But I think one of the reasons why is that they mostly allowed the wildcard team to dictate the pace of those team fights, especially if you're going to look at the Max, able to kind of separate members from the main team. And of course, the moment the main team separates, then that's kind of where they start struggling all the more. But yeah, at the end of the day, we'll just have to see if the main team can equal the scoreboard 2-2 to force it into a game 5. Because at the end of the day, I'm just really blown away by how there's a clear equal skill level between both teams. So it's still pretty much anybody's game for the series. But for the meantime, we'll be taking a quick break for now. Quite the intense 3 games that we had for that second match. We've been your caster, some Arctic. With me, of course, is Y2K. And this is the Arena of Valor World Cup 2018 Bootcamp powered by AXE. See you guys for game number 4.
We'll be right back.